Welcome to Stories from the Village of Nothing Much. Like easy listening, but for fiction. I'm Kathryn Nicolai. I write and read all the stories you'll hear on the Village of Nothing Much. Audio engineering and sound design is by Bob Wittersheim. In our show notes, you'll find links to our ad-free premium version, our other shows, and our merch and partner products. So glad you are here with me today. It's walking tour day in the village. This is something we do on the first episode of the month. Since all of my stories take place in this small, cozy universe, we've established inviting locations that lots of you have expressed an interest in visiting. And I do wish we could all just book a ticket and meet up in the village. And these walking tours are as close as we can come to that. So we'll head out, two friends on a walk, and I'll show you around. And you can actually go for a walk as you listen, or settle in on the sofa, listen on your commute, or really doing anything you like. This episode features some voices of lovely listeners who volunteered their time to make this tour extra special. And if you're thinking, hey, why didn't I know about that? I'd want to be on an episode. Please go follow us on Instagram. Just search Nothing Much Happens. Bob and I had so much fun putting this together that I'm sure we'll want to do it again soon. And that's where you'll see our next casting call. The part of the cool aunt will be played by Freddie B. The part of her nephew will be played by Max Lederer. Melissa Rose will voice Marmalade's mom. Birdie's dad is voiced by Ricardo Ferreira. And the part of the ice cream man will be played by our very own Bob Wittersheim. Before we start, let's take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. One more time, breathe in and sigh it out. Good. The Neighborhood Walking Tour. Coming. Hi. So good to see you. Thanks for coming to me today. Let me just step into my sandals and put Ladybug on her leash, and we can go. Here, lady. Good girl. Okay, I was thinking that the last few tours we did, they were sort of formal, you know? Like we went to the museum and the library and the inn, and I did a bit of research for each. I wanted to be able to show you as much as I could about those spots. Well, I really love them. But tonight, it's been so hot. And then the heat broke this afternoon, and there's this really nice breeze. And I just thought, yeah, let's just go for a walk. We can walk the neighborhood. And I bet we will still run across some fun spots to explore. Some fellow villagers to say hello to. Let's see. Let's turn right. This neighborhood is an old one. It kind of reminds me of the one I grew up in. The sidewalks are a little uneven. The trees are really tall, and they make a canopy over the street. The houses are all a little different. There are Cape Cods, like that one. That one's a Cape Cod style house. They remind me of the kind you draw with crayons when you're a kid. You know, kind of simple, modest, but very tidy. It's a door in the center, equal number of windows on either side. They're like 1.5 story houses, and the roof line usually runs widthwise across the house. And the roofs are usually steep because this style of house was made popular in snowy New England and would let the snow slide off rather than pile up on top. I always think, by the way, that the plural of roof should be roofs. Like the plural of hoof is hooves. But I've looked it up more than once. More than 5 times, probably. And it is roofs. English, right? The house across the street there is a Tudor. Some people call them Tudor Revival style. I think they're sort of romantic, like something out of a fairy tale. They're usually asymmetrical, so like the opposite of the Cape Cod. They tend to have those rounded doorways and a mix of stucco and brick, big chimney blocks and thinner windows, usually in groups of 3s. I'm always such a nosy walker, really just because I like looking at houses. I'm always curious about how people decorate and sort of the stories behind them, who lives there and what it looks like on the inside. You too? That's a good reason to make friends with your neighbors. You get asked inside. Which one? Oh, yeah, I think that would be considered a craftsman style house. I love those. They look so welcoming, That wide front porch. You see how the columns supporting it are all so wide? They're not like the spindly columns on a Victorian house porch. I think these style houses feel really cozy. Like that porch, you could lay down on that porch railing. And the stoop is just begging for you to sit down with a glass of iced tea and gossip with a friend. Big windows, and the eaves are kind of exaggerated and overhanging. And those rooms up there on the second floor, you just know that they're spacious without being huge. They're comfortable. There's a term for this. Human scaled. Like, have you ever stepped into a house that is just big for the sake of being big? Yeah, and it feels like, what am I supposed to do with this weirdly sized entryway or whatever? These houses feel handmade and lived in. In the neighborhood I lived in college, it was full of these craftsman-style houses. And a lot of them were full of students. And yeah, thinking back on it, it was probably a little rowdy. I'm remembering a lot of mismatched chairs on porches. Like dining room chairs on the porch. That's a very college town thing. But anyway, I had an apartment in a house like that one on the corner. I loved it. I had a little Formica-topped vintage dinette table. Oh my gosh. I bought it at a garage sale, and I felt so cute with it in my tiny little kitchen. It had chrome legs and vinyl seats. And you know what else I had? I had a divan. Not a sofa, not a couch. I mean, sort of. It was a fainting couch. It was deep scarlet with the curved back, and it was tufted. It was another garage sale find, and it was so impractical. Like, I think it only lasted a semester before a spring came through the fabric. But again, I was just feeling cool, figuring out my style. That's what those years are for, right? Well, and education too. I was also going to classes, I swear. Let's turn at this corner. There are some great dogs on this block, and maybe we'll run into some. Ladybug loves this block. She's got to stop and check her pee mail. Right, girl? Sometimes when she's sniffing, I think she's like sorting through the messages. Like the ones she passes over after one sniff, that's spam. Unsubscribe. Then when she stops and pees, well, she's like, reply all. Ooh, here's one of those little libraries. Want to look through it? You never know. You might meet your next favorite book. Isn't that exciting? To think you might not have read your favorite book yet? I think some of these are mine. I've added my fair share over the years. Oh, have you read this? Once Upon a River by Diane Setterfield. She wrote The 13th Tale, which is also so good, and a book you just drop into and then come up for air a few days later. But this one, how to describe it? It's so atmospheric. Folklore and magic and suspense, really interesting characters, and there aren't bad guys, just complex people, and really beautiful writing. It's a regular reread for me. There's some kids' books in here. That's cool. Have you read this one? I mean, yeah, it's for kids, but the message is so lovely. It's called Ish by Peter H. Reynolds, and it's about a little boy who loves to draw and learns that the things he draws, they don't have to be perfect. You know, like it could be a house-ish, a dog-ish, and how there's a special kind of magic in that. I hope some neighborhood kid grabs this one soon. Oh, the Heartstopper graphic novels by Alice Osman. So sweet. I read them all. Wow, there's some really good books in here. The Magicians by Lev Grossman. Gosh, I wish I could read that again for the first time. Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. Did you know that she wrote that in NaNoWriMo? That's National Novel Writing Month. We could join this year. Think about it. Claire DeWitt and the City of the Dead by Sarah Gran. She is a genius. If you love hard-boiled detective stories, and one like you've never read, oh, it's so good. Circe by Madeline Miller. Okay, this one, I would get the audiobook from the library. The reader is amazing. Yes, that counts as reading. You're kidding, right? Oh, you were. Okay, phew. Was about to get on my soapbox. Lincoln in the Bardo by George Saunders, another audiobook to put on your list. Oh, Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clark. Whoa, how's your attention span? It's a long one, but I've still read it maybe 5 times. I know not everyone is a rereader, but I am. Speaking of, and I promise this is the last one I'll nudge you on, Bill Bryson, One Summer. So fascinating. And hey, your next read is personal. Ladybug and I will wander over to that bench and let you pick out a book. Meet us there when you're ready. Okay, ready to walk on, my friend? Look down there. It looks like a couple of dogs are coming our way. Act cool. I know these pups. That lab is Clover, and her little brother, who I think is an Irish setter, that's Crimson. He's new to the family, was adopted as a puppy just after the holidays. Gosh, he's so big now. Ladybug loves them. Hello?
Hi there. Whoa, Crimson, don't jump. Don't jump. Sorry, we are working on that.
That's okay. I appreciate his enthusiasm. Hi, Crimson. Hi, Clover. You're being so patient. Such a good girl. I know Crimson's kind of wild, isn't he? Did you want to pet Ladybug? Just go slow. She's a little dog, but she's got big feelings.
Hi, Ladybug. Oh, she's so soft.
She just had a bath. Hey, where's your little brother? I usually see him walking the dogs with you.
He's at sleepaway camp till next week.
Wow, that's kind of a big deal.
Yep, this is his first year staying overnight. We were just talking about that.
Oh.
He was a little nervous about it, but I bet he's having fun.
I'm sure he is. But that reminds me, I just saw at the bakery downtown that they have little care packages of cookies all wrapped up and ready to ship. The baker must have realized that it's camp season.
Oh, I need to send one out to him before their dads do. Gotta maintain my cool and status. Let's walk the dogs there now. Have a good night.
Bye-bye, Ladybug.
See ya. Both of those boys are really neat kids. They helped me shovel my walk during the massive snowstorm we got last winter. Oh, do you hear that? I think it's the ice cream truck. Come on, I don't want to miss it. not too old for this. I'm only 44. Now, this truck is worth running for because it not only has bomb pops and creamsicles and choco tacos, it has granita, which I think we just call it Italian ice. I just have a special place in my heart for that. So I'm trying to say that it's 'cause I'm classy that we just ran 2 blocks to chase this truck. When I lived in southern Italy, many years ago now, there was this big park near the boardwalk called the Villa Comunale, and it was so beautiful, especially at night. It was full of statues, had these wide paths, and really lush greenery, and you could see the ancient castle up on the hill behind the city from there. Castello Arechi, it was called. And the whole city, everyone I knew, said they had the very best granita al limone. Of course, the lemons came from Amalfi, so how could it be anything but delicious? Anyway, the granita this truck sells, I don't know how they do it. It's exactly like the one at the Villa Comunale. Did I talk you into it? Okay. Yeah, I'll order one for each of us.
Oh, hello. What'll it be? Wait, let me guess. Lemon ice?
Yep. 2, please.
Here you go.
Thanks. See you next time.
Bye.
So good, right? It's a little tart, but it's really refreshing. I think lemon, when it's not done right, it just comes out as sour. But this has depth. There's like layers to it. And it really hits the spot. Look at this garden. This looks like a park, but it's just this neighbor's side yard. They obviously have green thumbs on both hands. You know, this yard has been such an inspiration to me. I've written a lot of stories just based on their flowers and shrubs. I wrote a story a few years ago. It was a Valentine's Day story. And I mentioned these beautiful feathery flowers. They're so dreamy and romantic looking, and lots of villagers asked what kind they were. These are them. They're called astilbe. And these peonies, I wrote about them in the Old Houses story. Did you hear that one? You were asleep? That's okay. That's what's supposed to happen. At my house, when I first moved in, I accidentally cut down a beautiful wisteria vine. I don't remember why I thought it had to come down, but I cut it way back. It was like a stick in the ground when I was done. Don't garden shame me. I had a lot to learn in those days. Anyway, it came back. It just would not have it. It wouldn't give up. And then the next year, it got cut down again. Not by me, by someone else, but still, it grew back. And finally, we figured out what it was. And thank goodness we learned our lesson. Because now it grows over the fence in the backyard. And in the spring, it has these beautiful light purple flowers that smell amazing. It's truly become a symbol of resiliency for me. Gosh, look how big their hostas are. And those elephant ears? Amazing. They always plant bleeding hearts in the baskets on their porch. I'd called those fuchsias when I was a kid, and when I learned they were called bleeding hearts, I was like, girl, same. Oh, let me clean up after Ladybug. There's a trash can on the corner over there. We'll be right back. Okay. You up for another block or two? Great. Let's go this way. We might run into some more furry friends. Ladybug can walk for hours, and she hasn't gotten out in a bit because of that heat wave we just had. This house, by the way, look down there, they have one of those little fairy gardens. The funny thing is, I never see anyone out here setting it up or changing it, but it does change and expand a lot. Last time we passed by, there was a little tent, like a 2-fairy tent maybe. It was like the fairies were camping here, and there was a tiny grill and cooler and a little fire pit with rocks around it. And now it looks like the fairies have upgraded a bit. Is that an Airstream? These fairies have great taste. Look at the little curtains in the trailer window. Very vintage. They've got a few miniature pink flamingos in their yard and a picnic table. Oh, we should come back by here in the fall. They actually carve those tiny pumpkins for their Halloween display. I love it when people put effort into little stuff like this, you know? Like, most people probably walk right past and don't notice it. But for those who do, what a treat. What a sweet bit of magic. Thank you, fairy keepers. Oh, good. Ladybug, look who's out in their yard. It's your bestie. Hey, Crumb. Do you know Crumb? He's kind of a big deal. Nope. And Birdie's out too. Hey, Bluebird. What a sweetie. He's a rescued greyhound, and his favorite thing is laying down in various sunny spots. Sometimes their people are here, and we go in and the dogs play together. Let's see. Hello? Anybody home?
Hello? Is that Ladybug?
Yep, and I've got a friend. Can we come in?
Of course. Let me get the gate for you. Nice night, isn't it?
It is. We've been walking around the neighborhood, enjoying the cooler air. What are y'all up to?
We've been just sitting on the back porch. Crumb's been chasing the ball. And you know Birdie. He's been laying down.
Is Marmalade home? Can she come out and play?
I bet you'd love to.
Did someone say Marmalade?
There's our girl. Hey, Marmy. Lady Elizabeth Bug. Do not bark at the kitty. Go play with Crumb. Here, I'll throw the ball for you two. How's it going, Marmalade?
She's been bird watching all day. In between naps, of course.
Oh, to be Marmalade. I remember when you first found her. That snowy day when she was just a teeny kitten. And now she's all grown up.
And now she has 2 brothers to supervise.
No wonder she needs so many naps. Oh, lady's getting all riled up before bed. Whose idea was that? Oh, right, that was me. Well, we better start walking home. The fireflies will be out soon. Thanks for letting us say hi. See you soon.
Good night. Be safe.
See you later.
Such a nice family. Did I tell you they got married at the inn? Yeah, it was a beautiful day. All 3 animals were there, of course. In fact, a lot of village pets attended the ceremony. I love seeing dogs as we walk around the neighborhood, but sometimes I wish I got to see more of the cats. I read about a cat tour in another city. It looks so fun. People would sign up to be featured, and then on the day of the tour, a guide would lead folks from one house to another, and the cat and their owner would stand on their porch and sort of introduce themselves. Maybe give a fun fact, like, this is Graham Cracker, and he has an extra toe on each foot. Or, this is Mouse, and she was raised around all dogs, so she barks. Yeah, we should do this in our village. In fact, let's see if their light is on. Yep, this house on the corner, the Victorian, there are 3 cats there. They're named Dolomite, Feldspar, and Steve. Should they have their own show? I think so. Feels like it would kind of write itself. So remind me if I forget. Village Cat Tour. Coming soon. Shall we start heading back? I like this part of the evening. As dusk settles in and lights and houses begin to come on. The birds quiet down. The whole world gets a little quieter. Wow, except for the bugs, right? I can hear crickets and cicadas and katydids. That was something my mom used to call me when I was little. Katydid. The stars are starting to come out. I've been watching for meteor showers lately. This is the time of year for them, even more so as we move into August. If you see the slow, graceful ones with the glowy tails, those are called Delta Aquarides. They'll peak at the end of July. The Perseids, they show more later in the summer, but you can still catch a few now. They move fast and bright, the wish on a star kind. Oh, look right there. That's Jupiter. It's usually the brightest object in the night sky besides the moon. Sometimes you can spot Saturn. She's not as bright, more golden, but rises about the same time. Thanks for coming over for a walk tonight. I know Ladybug had a nice time, and so did I. I didn't think I had much to show you in this neighborhood, but I guess I was wrong. When you dial in your focus the right way, there are always things to notice and enjoy everywhere you look. I'm already looking forward to our next walking tour. Till then, go safely, sleep tight tonight, and we'll see each other soon.